The line of actual control, that is the LAC, is the demarcation that separates Indian controlled territory from the Chinese controlled territory. India considers the LAC to be 3,488 kilometers long, whereas China believes it to be around 2,000 kilometers. The LAC is divided into three sectors: the eastern sector spanning Arunachal Pradesh and Sikkim, the middle sector in Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh, and the western sector in Ladakh. While both the countries patrol the LAC, its precise alignment remains a major point of contention. So what is the LAC all about? We explain. In the eastern sector, the LAC follows the 1914 McMahon line, which India recognizes, but China disputes, particularly in areas like Longju and Asafela. The middle sector, which covers Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh, is the least controversial but involves disagreements over the Barahuti plains. The major disagreements are in the western sector, particularly in Ladakh. The LAC here emerged from the letters written by Chinese Premier Zhou Enlai in 1959 and 1962. In these letters, Zhou stated that the LAC consisted of the McMahon line in the east and the line where both the sides exercised actual control in the west. However, this line was vaguely described on maps. After the 1962 Indo-China War, China withdrew its forces 20 kilometers behind the LAC of 1959, but India rejected this claim, viewing it as an arbitrary line created through Chinese aggression. Initially, India rejected the concept of the LAC in both 1959 and 1962. However, after 1962 war and the increasing number of encounters between Indian and Chinese patrols in the 1980s, India agreed to discuss the LAC. In 1993, during Prime Minister Narasimha Rao's visit to China, India formally accepted the LAC as it existed at the time of the agreement. Both sides agreed to maintain peace along the border while clarifying that the alignment of the LAC through joint working groups. Despite discussions on clarifying the LAC, only maps for the middle sector have been exchanged. Clarification efforts for the western sector, where significant disputes exist, have stalled since 2002. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's proposal to clarify the LAC in 2015 was rejected by China, citing the complexities that would arise from doing so. Furthermore, the claim lines for both countries differ. India's claim lines include Aksai Chin and Gilgit-Baltistan, whereas China's claim lines include Arunachal Pradesh as part of South Tibet. The lack of a clearly defined boundary in Ladakh stems from the British-era treaties. While the eastern boundary was defined by the Simla Agreement in 1914, the western boundary, particularly in Aksai Chin, was left undefined. India's position on the boundary evolved over time, culminating in maps issued in 1954 that omitted any line marking Indian claims over both Aksai Chin and Arunachal Pradesh. This ambiguity played a role in the 1962 war. As of 2024, tensions along the LAC remain high, particularly in eastern Ladakh. While diplomatic talks have yielded positive signaling, the situation on the ground remains sensitive. Trust between the two countries has been a significant casualty of the ongoing standoff, and military preparedness remains a priority until a resolution is reached. Both sides are engaged in discussions to resolve pending issues, including the strategic areas of Dipsang Plains and Demchok. While some progress has been made, particularly with agreements on troop redeployment, the situation remains fluid with ongoing rounds of military and diplomatic talks necessary to maintain peace and stability along the disputed border.